is the City Treasurer Student Intern Program. This is the first day of the program, August the 25th. It's a 5-year program. And I'd like to introduce you now, Mr. Marco Tan, who's my administrative assistant, and he will give you just a brief overview as to what some of his duties are.
Hi, my name is Marco Tan. I'm the assistant to the City Treasurer of the City of Inglewood. My main function here, or my duties and responsibilities, are financial analysis reporting. Also do a lot of compilation relating to investment trades, as well as a lot of secretarial works relates to word processing, as well as research work that relates to U.S. economy. So I would like to welcome everyone, students that are enrolled in this year's 2011 City Treasurer Internship Program. Thank you.
Let me know when you're ready.
Okay, I'll give a little shout at the students you got here so far. All right, I'm ready.
Okay, now each of the students are going to introduce themselves and just give a little bit of brief information about themselves. They're going to give you their name, what school they go to, and some of their favorite subjects. And we're going to start right here and just go all the way around the circle.
Hi, my name is Destiny Gracia Prone. I'm in the 9th grade. I go to City Honors, and my favorite subjects are English, math, and PE.
All right. Speak loudly for me, please.
Hi, my name is Imani White. I go to Culver City High School, and my favorite things to do are softball and now play the piano.
Hi, my name is Anthony DiPrezito, and I'm in 5th, and I go to school by the Forum. My favorite subjects are English, science, and math.
Hi, my name is Tiffany Harper. I attend City Honors. I'm a 10th grader. My favorite subjects is sociology and English.
Hi, my name is Avery Tuke. I'm in 11th grade. I go to Pacifica Christian High School, and my favorite subjects are English and history.
Hello, my name is Ryan Landry, and I go to Frank D. Perrin Elementary, and my favorite subjects are astronomy and world history.
All right. Time on this. 5, 4, 3, 2.
And this is my office. This is where I work. As you can see, I have piles of work on my desk, and primarily what I do is I do all of the investing on behalf of the city. I've invested over $300 million on behalf of the city, and have generated more than $74 million of gross investment interest income, and have never lost a single dollar. So this is the main office here. We just came from the conference room, and the next office is the copy room, where we do all of the copying for the for my office, and I also receive all of the various faxes from the various brokers that I receive right here also, as well as on my PC. So this is where I really work. This is where I am every day. And now we're going to go on up to the 9th floor, and we're going to have another brief introduction, and then we're going to serve lunch to the kids. Close that. And what are some of your favorite subjects?
My name is Ian Tilla Carter. I go to Palms Middle School, and my favorite subject is math.
All right.
What about the young gentleman over there?
He completed the program already. Give your name and where you go to school.
I'm Evan Tidwell Carter, and I go to school at Hamilton High School.
And you completed the program, what, a couple years ago?
2 years ago.
Okay, and what's some of your favorite subjects now? Not the 2 years later.
Everything, really.
Everything?
Don't
So what do
have
you
a
think you might
favorite.
want to be when you go on to college? What field are you looking to go into? You giving that some thought yet?
No,
Okay, still thinking about it.
Yeah, still.
Okay. And here are a couple of parents here. They're going to introduce themselves.
Karen Tidwell.
And
And
Julie Tidwell. Those are my two sons.
Okay. All right, we're going to head on up to the ninth floor now. They made some mistakes in printing.
Okay.
All right. Margaret, why don't you, once you complete that, bring it on up to the ninth floor. All right, welcome to the City Treasurer Student Intern Program. This is about the 7th year now we have done this program. And I certainly want to welcome all of the new students here, and they're going to go around and introduce themselves in just a moment. And I'm Wanda Brown, and I'm the City Treasurer of Inglewood. I've served as treasurer now for 24 years, so it's been a very interesting line of work for me. And just to give you a little bit of my background is primarily that in accounting. So I have a bachelor's degree and a master's degree in accounting, as well as 3 years towards a PhD, all in the field of accounting, from the school of UCLA. Okay, anybody here planning on going to UCLA? All right, okay, I knew I felt something good about that guy when he came into my office. So anyhow, so that's my field, and it's been a very interesting field. I've done a lot of things with it. I first started out as far as work with a CPA firm, certified public accounting firm, and I worked in that field for several years. And after that, I decided I wanted to do something a little different, so I went into banking. So I worked in the banking industry for a little while, and I really didn't like that much, but it was interesting. I learned a lot. And after that, I decided I wanted to go into teaching. So I taught at the university level for about 7 years at our Cal State University system, and also our UCLA Extension system. I taught there for about 7 or 8 years. And after that, I decided I wanted to do something different, so I decided to run for public office. And my background was good, and as a matter of fact, it was better than the person who currently held the office some 24 years ago. So I ran for the office of City Treasurer. Which of you think might want to run for some public office maybe later on? Anybody have any interest in running for public office? Outstanding. What office do you think you might want to run for? You got any thought? In Inglewood. So what office? Maybe the council, or maybe even the treasurer, huh? You might even, okay. Here's my opposition right here in my class that I'm training. Okay, well, I do need a replacement, so you look like you could be as good as any. And so keep that in mind. You want to have a pretty good financial background, and that would be very, very helpful. And also take some good classes in accounting, would be very, very helpful in understanding financial matters. So that's primarily my background. And what we're going to do here today is that we're going to we're going to go over some very important terminology. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the city government and how your local representative represent you. And we're going to meet the mayor of the city, and then we're also going to meet the city administrator, and they're going to tell you a little bit about their backgrounds. Now, the mayor of the city are elected by your parents, who live here. We all are elected for 4-year terms. There's a mayor of the council, and there's 4 members of the council, and there's a city clerk, and there's a city treasurer. We are the elected officials of the city. And so we're going to go and meet a couple of them, and later on we're going to go and visit several departments. We're going to visit sound installation. It's going to be one department, and one of the sessions is going to be taken on by one of our deputy city administrator, Michael Falco, who's going to take you down to the computer system and tell you all about that. And you're going to really enjoy that session, because Michael loves to talk. So that's going to be a very interesting session. You're going to learn all about computers. That's in the basement, and also our phone system and all of that. And also one of the other departments that we're going to visit will be the police department. You'll find that there are a lot of really, really interesting jobs that you can also get in have in the police department. And one of the other departments that we will also visit will be the library. The library is very, very important place that, you know, you can learn a lot, and there's a lot to do there and a lot to learn. So we're going to also visit the library. So what we're going to do now, we're going to go around and you're going to introduce yourself, and then we're going to have lunch, and then we're going to get into our program, okay? So we're going to start with this young man right here and go down, and we're going to go to the other side. We have a few students that are missing today. We have a couple of folks that have their birthday today, so they're not here, and one other person had something that came up, and they're not here today. But we should have a full house next week. So we're going to start with this young man right here.
My name is Intern Carter. I'm 12 years old. I go to Palms Middle School. My favorite subject is math.
My name is Destiny Grace Crone. I'm in 9th grade. I go to City Honors High School, and my favorite subject is English.
Hi, my name is Tiffany Harper. I attend City Honors High School. I'm a 10th grader. My favorite subject is sociology and English.
My name is Avery Atuk. I'm in 11th grade. I go to Pacifica Christian High School, and my favorite subjects are European history and math.
Hi, my name is Imani White. I go to Culver City High School, and my favorite subject is English.
Hi, my name is Anthony DiPrezito. I'm 10 years old. I'm in 5th grade, and I'm going to an elementary school by the farm. And my favorite subjects are science and math.
Outstanding.
Hello, my name is Ryan Landry and I attend Frank D. Perrin Elementary, and my favorite subjects are astronomy and world history.
Outstanding, outstanding. And wow, this group is so articulate. I mean, I am impressed. I think this is about the best group I have had so far. Wow. But what we're going to do now, we're going to break for about 20 minutes so that we can, you know, have our lunch, and then we're going to move on into the program. Okay? All right.
Yeah, I think some of them.
They're both pepperoni. They're both pepperoni. The pepperoni, I told you,
Oh, okay, I'll just get a shot.
Okay.
Like you can, yeah. We're gonna do because I studied college. Yeah. Culver City right down the street.
Anyone that's going to be graduating within the next 2 years? Good, because then I have other scholarship information for you that I'll be giving to you that have an array of all different kinds of scholarships. Did you get that scholarship information? Tippo, you got that? The big book, the thick one? Okay. Let me know when you're ready, Felix.
Ready when you are, Ron.
Oh, okay.
5, 4.
Okay, because Phil's will be in a second.
Okay. 3, 2.
1. Okay, well, we're back and had a little bit to eat now. We're going to get into the program now. Now, we're just going to briefly go over what are some of the duties of the city treasurer, and that's your very first page here. And you can see part of it has to do with payment of the bills. Mr. Phil's ready?
No, he'll be ready in about 5 minutes.
Okay. And so we have lots of bills to pay. And matter of fact, just to give you a little example of what some of the bills are, if you turn to any of in your book that says the Warrant Register, it looks like this, just a little list of all the different bills. You can see that the city has lots of bills to pay. Our payroll is roughly about, $2.5 million every other week. So it's called the Warrant Register, you see. It says final checklist. You can see some of the bills that's been paid. One of them that is for La Cienega Building Improvement Project, $1,800. And then you could look on the next page and you'll see there's a series of payments that was paid out for legal services that totaled a little over $20,000. And you can see the total for the page for the sidewalk and wheelchair improvement at the bottom, $46,821. So again, that's part of my duties is to pay the bills. And basically, of course, I don't really sign all the checks because I'll be, just sitting here signing checks all day long. What we use primarily is a facsimile signature. So it's like they stamp my signature onto the check along with that of the mayor and the finance director. So we normally pay bills every other week. And another one of my responsibilities, of course, is the appointment of deputies. I have 2 deputies that assist me. And what they do primarily is wire money. Different times I need money wired, you see. And the money is wired, to the very different sources. And we have here Mr. Marco back again. And as a he's my right hand, right and left hand sometimes. So he's really been a big, tremendous help to me. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And also we have the investment of the idle funds. As I mentioned, right now I oversee roughly about a little over $200 and some million of funds that I invest on behalf of the city. And so that's another one of my responsibilities. And we've been really, really lucky here. We have now our city administrator just walked in, Mr. Artie Fields.
Everybody.
And the city has been very, very fortunate to acquire his services. And he's been with us now only about, 4 weeks?
6 weeks, yeah.
6 weeks, okay. And he's going to tell you a little bit about himself and his background, and what his responsibilities are. Then we're going to get back into the program.
Okay.
Thank you.
So thank you for having me. I'll just tell you that I've been working in local government for about 25 years. I know I don't look that old, but I've been in this business for quite some time. I've worked for a number of cities in Southern California. You guys heard of Beverly Hills, Manhattan Beach, Pasadena, Pomona. I bet you, has anybody heard of San Leandro? No, okay, that's up north, next door to Oakland. And then I grew up in an area in the city of West Covina. And so I've worked and I grew up there, and I also worked for the city of West Covina for about 10 years. And then most recently I was up in the city of Salinas. Has anybody ever heard of the city of Salinas? Great writers from Salinas. Anybody know who that is? John Steinbeck. He wrote East of Eden, the great raps. So anyway, that's his home, and I was there for about 3 years. So I'm really happy to be back here in Southern California, working, close to my family. My responsibilities are basically, if you think of any big business, you think they all have a CEO, someone who's in charge of the management of the organization, and that's my role. I have a number of department heads that report to me, the police chief, the public works director, the finance director. There's about 9 department heads that all report to me, and so basically I manage their work and also work directly with the city council, the mayor and the city council, to help implement policies that they want to see implemented in our city to make our city a better city. So now, is everybody from Inglewood? Oh, you're the only one. Oh, 2, 3, 4, okay, 5, okay. Well, good. So I'm here I work for you guys. You pay taxes through when you buy candy or books or what have you. That money, a percentage of it comes back to the city, and it pays my salary. So you guys are my bosses. I work for you. And so I want to do all that I can to make sure that the quality of your life in our community is the best that it can be, so that it's a safe community, a clean community, and a fun community where you want to hang out and do things. So thanks for having me.
Okay, anyone have any questions? All right.
Anybody want to be a city manager? Maybe after this you'll...
Yeah, well, we have one right here says she's definitely running for public office.
Oh, she is? Okay, all right, good. All right.
So we'll keep an eye on her.
Okay.
Well, thank you so much for coming by and sharing with us.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye-bye,
you.
guys.
Okay, we're going to continue on then. And another one of my responsibilities, of course, is to, as I mentioned, also to prepare the treasury report, and you'll see that later in the workbook also, and to prepare something known as an investment policy, which are really the rules and guidelines that I have to follow in order to invest the money. You see, because I can't just invest the money any way that I want to. I have to invest according to certain rules and guidelines. So I prepared an investment policy. We're going to get into that later on, just giving an overview for right now. And of course, I have certain banking responsibilities. We want to make sure we're getting the best deal with banks. So from time to time, we go out and get different RFPs, requests for proposals for banking services. And I have committee responsibilities on an array of different committees. And I have the auditor function, where I just simply audit some of the, some of the accounts of the city. And turn to the next page. On page 2, we're going to talk about some important investment terms. And the first term is bonds. It's the very second page, Kevin. And we're going to talk about a bond. Anybody have an idea what a bond is? Yes.
The connection.
Yeah, can be looked at like that. A bond is really basically an IOU. You know, you have actually loaned someone money, and that's basically what a bond is. And that's primarily what I buy on behalf of the city is different kinds of bonds, and basically they're government-sponsored enterprises bonds that I primarily buy on behalf of the city. And here, with regards to bond, I have some terms on the board here. And a bond pays a certain amount of interest. Have any idea what interest represents? Yes.
After you loan someone money, after a while you get more money over time.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's an excellent explanation. Because money, of course, as I passed out a little early, money is not free. If you loan money out, you expect to be compensated. You see, and so you're going to be compensated for loaning the money out. And so that's known as interest. And also with regards to the bonds, all the bonds have something known as a maturity date, meaning that the bond could become due, meaning that you got to pay it off within, say, 1 year or 2 years or 3 years or 4 years or 5 years. Generally, I do not go out further than, say, a 5-year bond. And right now, interests are so low until basically, even if I went out for 5 years, meaning that the bond doesn't mature until 5 years, perhaps the most that I can get now is about 5%. Years ago, when I was first elected treasurer, you know, interest rates were very, very good, and they were going at, say, 6, 7, 8, 9%. But now it's a different day now. And some bonds, you see, have call features. Even though I might buy a bond that's for like a 5-year bond, right now interests are so low, even though it may pay the interest rate of, say, 1.5, they may have like a call feature, meaning they could take it away from me or buy it back from me before 5 years, depending on how interest rates are going. If they're going up, you know, up or down, you see, they can call the bond back. Say if I buy the bond, say, and I'm only getting 1.5%, and interest rates, say, go up to, say, 3%, and it's a 5-year bond, what do you think will happen? Do you think the person who I bought that bond from will want to get that bond back from me, or let me keep it for the 5-year duration? What do you think?
Keep it?
Absolutely right. That's very good. And the reason why, of course, they would want me to keep it is that interest rates have gone up to like 3%, but I bought the thing at 1.5. So I'm stuck, you see, at the 1.5. Now, on the other hand, say if I bought the bond, say at 3%, and it's a 5-year bond, and now rates have gone down to 1%, and it's a callable bond, what do you think the person who I bought the bond for will do now? Will they let me keep that bond, or will they want that bond back?
They'll probably want it back.
Absolutely, boy, we got a financial wizard here. And of course, the reason why they want it back is because I bought it at what? I bought it at 3, but rates have gone down to, say, 1, so why pay me 3 when, you know, the rates are 1? So they'll take it back, and I'm, you know, there I am, you see, I'm looking for someplace else to. So that's the kind of what I'm doing with regards to bonds. You're just kind of guessing. You don't know how, you don't know how interest rates are going to go. But if I buy a 5-year bond, like I bought at 1.5%, and we're speaking of bonds I buy in $1 million increments. They're not small amounts, so they're all in $1 million increments. Sometimes I buy $2 or $3 million of bonds at one time, and the most that I'm able to get is 1.5%. So, you know, and as you know, the banks now are paying very, very little interest on savings account. They're paying less than 1%. Some of them are only paying like 0.18%, you know, and very, very little. But however, on these credit cards, you know, if you charge something on the credit card, and they're charging upwards to 22.99%. On your credit card. So what you want to do, of course, if you charge something on a credit card, if you can, you want to do what? Pay it off the next month. You know, and I almost seldom use mine. The only reason I know that they're charging that high rent because I put a small amount on one, and I just saw that they're charging like 22.3% interest. you know, on the small amount of money that I put there. You can imagine people are putting lots of money on it, you know, that it will take you quite a while to pay it off. Now, the amount on my little credit, I put a small amount on mine, is only $342. And they said, okay, your minimum payment now will be $30. Now, if I only paid $30, according to the information on my statement, it would take me 2 years to pay it off. 2 years to pay off $342. So that's why what you want to do, you see, it's as soon as you can, you know, if you put something on it, you hopefully be able to pay it off like the next month, because that's how the banks, of course, are making their money, at these enormous amount of interest that they're charging on credit cards, but paying very, very little, you see, on your savings account that you have. As I mentioned, less than 1% that most of the banks are charging. So anyhow, so that's what we're going on with a bond. A bond is basically, again, is a, what's a bond again? A loan. IOU. Are you the one that you're going to major in math?
Yeah, I'm pretty good at math.
Uh-huh. And so anyhow, a bond is an IOU. It's a loan. You know, you're loaning someone money. That's exactly what you're doing. Now we're going to talk about a budget. Anyone have any idea what a budget is? Yes.
Savings.
It could be a savings. Yes.
The money that you're able to spend.
Yeah, that should be the amount of money that you're able to spend is the budget. But and basically what a budget is, it's a plan. It's a financial plan. That's what a budget is. And we're going to be working with a little basic budget here. So basically what you're doing, if you have, say, if your budget is, say, we'll use a small amount of money. Say if your budget is $1,000, then of course you don't want to spend what, $2,000. And you have gone over your budget, and that's how, of course, you get in debt. You want to spend within your means. So that's why you finish school and going off to college, you get your jobs. You want to be sure that you kind of spend within your means, because that's why so many folks have gotten in a lot of financial trouble now, including our nation, because our nation's budget cap was roughly about what? You want to remember that? It's roughly about $14.2 trillion, and they had already reached that. And of course, that's what all of this commotion was about, was they needed to raise the ceiling of the budget. And that budget started at $44 billion way back in 1944. And now it's over $14 trillion, you see. And as I mentioned, of course, the war in Iraq is costing nearly, they said, about $1 billion a snap, you see. So that's what it's gotten it up there so very quickly. But again, a budget is just simply a financial plan. And you want to have some sort of plan, you see, with regards to how you spend your money. Okay, and another term that we're going to talk about also is something called the Rule of 72. Anyone have any idea what the Rule of 72 is? The Rule of 72 is something that will tell you how long it takes money to double. Let's assume that you're all, say, 18 right now. You're 18 right now. And let's assume that the interest rate is just, say, 4%. So if you divide 4 into 72, what number do you get? Divide 4 into 72.
Wait.
Yes.
15. Wait.
Close. Anyone else want to try? The number 4 into 72. Yes. 18. Very good. It's 18. So if you're 18 years old right now, and say you have $10,000 to invest, it will take 18 more years before that $10,000 will double. Because you're 18 now, so 18 years later you'll have $20,000. But then you'll be what? You'll be 36 years old, right? And that money won't double again for another 18 years. So 18 more years, you'll be how old? 54. And at 54, you'll have $40,000. And then it won't double again for another 18 years. And by that time, you'll be how old?
72.
72 years old. Now, let's assume that that same amount of investment it'll pay 6% of interest instead of 4. 6 goes into 72 how many times?
12.
12 times. So again, if you're now 18 years old with that same $10,000, and now it's 12 years later, how old will you be? 12 plus 18. 30. You'll be 30 years old instead of 36 with the 4%. And you see the money has now doubled. You still have the $20,000, but now you're just 30 years old instead of 36. Now 12 more years, you'll be 42 instead of what? 54. When the money will have doubled, now you got 40,000. As you can see, the higher the interest you see, the faster that the money will double, and of course the younger you will be. So naturally, if it's only paying 4%, it's going to take a long time before the money actually amounts to much, and you'll be quite up there in years before the money has really reached a significant amount. So interest plays a very important impact, you see, on money and how long it takes it to double. So we have here a little budget, we're going to take a look at it. And we have a city budget. Do you all have the city budget? Does everyone have the city budget? Yes. Okay. Let's take a look at the city budget. Now, the 105,000 revenues is what this little city had coming in. We're using small numbers. And we'll say year 2, this little city had 85,000. And these are the expenditures for the city. You see, it has salaries of $40,000, have supplies of $18,000, and to maintain the streets, of course, of $12,000. In real terms, you would multiply this by 1,000 as to what the real numbers would be. And the departmental expenses are $7,000. And the building and maintenance is $5,000. Medical and dental for all of the employees, you see, is $4,000 for this little city. And parks and recreation, for to keep that up, is $3,000 for this little city. And once you put all of those numbers in, you see, then you deduct that number from the 105,000, and it'll let you know whether or not you have extra money or whether or not you've gone in the hole, you see. So once you put those numbers in, so why don't you guys fill that in and see what you come up with. We'll take about maybe 5 minutes for that. You don't have a pen? Okay. All right. So is everybody about? Okay, everybody about ready? All right, let's see how you came out with this one. We can see that our revenues for this little city, 105,000. Salaries, 40,000. Supplies, 18,000. Street maintenance, 12,000. Departmental expense, 7,000. Building maintenance, 5,000. Medical and dental, 4. And Parks and Rec is 3. And total expenditures, everybody get that? $89,000. Okay, once we subtract that number from 105, we have what? 16,000. You got that? All right, how many got that? All right. Okay, so this little city is, they have positive income then, right? Now the next year, their revenues went down. Perhaps, revenue went down because maybe they didn't collect as much taxes, or perhaps revenues that went down because of a number of different reasons. Their projections just didn't work out, you know. The revenues that they thought was gonna come in from utilities didn't happen. The revenues they thought that was gonna come in from, say, for taxes didn't happen. And from property taxes didn't happen. So anyhow, for whatever reason, their revenues went down. So the next year, salary was still $40,000. You know, and they didn't, and the supplies are still the 18, and all the other expenses stayed pretty much the same. So we add up the number, and now we have what? A deficit, meaning that they didn't have enough money to cover all of their expenditures. Okay? All right, so they didn't do that well, you know, in the next year. So that happens sometimes. That happens to a lot of cities now. A lot of cities have literally gone bankrupt. You know, City of Vallejo, they have gone bankrupt. And a lot of cities are experiencing deficits because their revenues just didn't happen like they thought it was going to happen. Okay, what we're going to do now, we're going to go into the council chambers, and you are going to be the elected officials. Somebody's going to be mayor, somebody's going to be a council member, somebody's going to be the city treasurer, and somebody's going to be the city clerk, and then some's going to be the public that's going to come up and, you know, talk about, you know, why this, you know, why you're not doing this or why you're not doing that. Okay, so I want you to, you know, take those seats in the council chambers. We're going to go there now, and so we're going to. You about ready for that? Okay. All right, so we're going to go to the council chamber. You see what we do. You see on council day, you see how the council meetings actually go. And I'll be posing questions to you as council people, you know, what are you going to do about this? What are you going to do about that? Blah, 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 yes. Yeah, you can leave this right here because we're going to come back to this room once we finish in the council chambers. We're coming right back here, okay? All right, we're going to go into the council chambers now. So all of the seats. City administrators. Somebody's got to be the treasurer over here. We're going to need a treasurer. Come on, got to have a treasurer now. This is a city attorney. See, this is his council staff. So you want to take one of these seats over here. No, this is okay, young man. Sit right there, Mr. City Administrator. You're in the hot seat, buddy. We're going to why certain things aren't happening. Introduce yourself as who you are.
Okay, so who we starting with?
We're going to start right here at Miss City Attorney here.
Hi, my name's Imani White, and I'm the city attorney.
Next, Mr.
Hi, my name's Ryan Landry, and I'm the
City Manager.
City Manager.
All right.
Hi, my name is Anthony DiPrezito, and I am the
Councilman for District 1.
councilman for District 1.
Hi, my name is Untitled Chapter, and I am the
Councilperson for District 2.
councilperson for District 2.
Hi, my name is Destiny, and I am the mayor.
Hello, my name is Tiffany Harper. I'm the council person for District 3.
Hi, my name is Avery Atuk, and I'm the councilwoman for District 4.
Hi, my name's Evan Tillwell Carter, and I'm city treasurer.
Well, and I'm the public. Okay, you know, there has really been quite a lot of crime in the city and in certain areas, and I'm just wondering, what are you going to do about that, Miss Mayor?
Well, I plan to hire more cops so there will be more jobs.
Okay, all right. Well, another thing I've noticed, Miss City Attorney, I've noticed that, you know, the legal fees have been quite costly. You know, what's going on here? Why can't you control some of these costs in your office? What's going on?
We are going to push for more youth camps and organizations so that we can raise our kids so that there won't be as many legal issues around the
So you think that'll work?
and a reform, yes.
And Mr. City Manager over there, what are you going to do about a lot of employees are really upset that there's been a lot of layoffs? What are you going to do about that? What can we do to keep jobs?
Borrow more money and hire people.
Borrow more money, okay, and hire people, okay. And you, Mr. District 1 Councilman, you know, there's a lot of people been complaining about these trees that's causing all kinds of plumbing problems in their area, and it's costing them a lot of money. I mean, it's the city's fault. So what are you going to do about that? I voted for you. What are you going to do? You know, you may not get my vote next time. What are you going to do?
Make sure there are no more oil spills.
Okay, so but what about all this money that these people are spending to you know, for the tree roots that's running their plumbing? Are you going to give any city money to help?
Yeah.
How much?
25,000.
Okay. All right. Okay. And you in District 2, you know, there's been a lot of people over in that district that's been having a lot of chickens, you know, in their backyard, and that are not really allowed, and they are making all kinds of noise, you know, waking people up in the morning. I mean, what are you going to do about that?
We could get a chicken coop to stop the chickens from going into other people's yards.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe soundproof walls.
Soundproof walls,
because they're too loud.
And how long have you been in that particular seat? How long have you been representing the community?
About 4 years.
4 years. Yeah, and I know some people who voted for you. You're going to have to, do a lot better in your district, you know, in order to be in that seat the next time. You know, you're up for re-election, you know, in just a couple of weeks. Okay, and the person there in District 3, you know, I've been hearing a lot of complaints about people speeding up and down the streets there, you know, and people almost like being hit. Some of the kids have been almost hit by the cars, you know, and so some of them want speed bumps there to kind of slow down the traffic. Well, what are some of the things you think you're going to do over there in that district?
Yes, we're planning to put in more speed bumps, have cops patrolling, looking at seeing who's overspeeding and stuff like that, and crosswalk people for the kids.
Okay. And how long have you been representing District 3 now?
I'm pretty new here for a year.
About just about a year. Okay, well, you know, you still need some, you know, time to kind of get acclimated, so we'll be a little bit more patient with you. Well, person there in District 4 now, there's been a lot of complaints that people have been leaving lots of trash in these alleys. You know, they've been dumping cabbages there and chairs there, and you know, and it's just really making the neighborhood look really bad. Now, you've been there for quite a little while there, District 4 council person now. I mean, what are you going to do about this problem?
Well, we actually plan on hiring more street cleaning crews to go through the alleys every 2 weeks so we can reduce some of the trash, and we plan on adding more trash cans in the neighborhood too.
Okay, that sounds fine. Okay, I you know, that sounds pretty good. I think we can live with that. Well, City Treasurer, you know, you've done the best job of all of them, so I really don't have too much of a criticism regarding the treasurer, because that treasurer, I mean, you have run all this money for the city. Just what are some of the other things that you plan on doing for the city with regards to investment to make more money?
I don't have any really ideas. Just keep doing what I'm doing.
Okay, just keep doing what you're doing to keep things up.
If there's nothing wrong with it, don't fix it.
Okay. So you can kind of see this is how our council meetings are really conducted here. Jim, there's folks sitting out here in the audience, and some of them have been coming for years, you know, to these council meetings because they're concerned, you know, about their city. And each time, see, they're able to come to this podium and they're able to speak for 3 minutes on any item on the agenda. You see, they can talk about anything they want to that's on the agenda. And then, of course, then they have another opportunity to speak at the end of the council meeting, where they might want to talk about something that's not on the agenda. You see, that then they can talk about anything they might want to talk about. But basically, as you can see, you guys are the policy makers and you're really the shakers and the movers for the cities. The council makes the policies, and we have the city attorney who also, conducts a great deal of business for the city, and they have to handle all of the legal matters that's pertaining to the city. And then we have the city manager over there who basically runs, kind of runs the city, but at the council's request, actually, because the council actually hires the city manager. So the city manager actually is working for the council, of course, and the people. So basically, these are the positions that one of you may actually occupy at some point in time. And as I mentioned, each person holds their job for how long? I told you how many years each person holds their job?
4 years.
4 years, and they're elected by the people, you see, and they have to get the majority vote. But then each district, you see, runs by district, and in each district, there's roughly about 30,000 people in each district, and these are the folks that, that go to the polls and vote. But unfortunately, voting turnout is generally so low, generally under 15% of the people actually vote, which is a very, very important right, but have very small amount that actually come out and actually vote, you see. So as you can see, when you do become age to vote, it's a very, very important privilege that you should exercise, because you can determine, how your city is governed if you take on that responsibility of voting who you think is going to best, you see, run the city and do things kind of like, see kind of things that you want to see. So this is what we do, and these council meetings happen every single Tuesday, and they start at 7 o'clock, and sometimes they go on until 9, 10, 11 o'clock, and I have been here as late as 2 o'clock in the morning, from 7 p.m. until 2 a.m. But thankfully, they're not that long anymore, so they usually end around about 10-ish or 10:30 for the most part. But again, that's every Tuesday, and a number of people could come and they voice their opinion as to what they what they like about the city, what they don't like about the city, you see. So just wanted you to get a taste of how city government is run. Do any of you have any questions? No questions? Okay, but we're going to head on back to the office and wrap up. Okay, some of the things that we've talked about this first session has been, of course, we got an overview of city government, and each of you got a chance to actually serve as either a council person, city attorney, city administrator, as treasurer, and so you got a chance to get an idea of what city government is like. We said each person serves for a period of 4 years. Then you have to go out and campaign, knocking on doors, sending out literature. It is very expensive. Each piece of literature that you send out, particularly those that run a city-wide, may run about $6,000, per piece of literature. So it's really expensive. And you could, of course, spend even more depending on, what sort of campaign you have. And we talked about what, some of the responsibility of the city treasurer is. It's in your in your outline here. And we talked about some important terms. We talked about what a budget is, and a budget is
your financial plan.
Outstanding. This boy has a good memory too. It's a financial plan. Okay, and we talked about what a bond is, and a bond is a loan. Outstanding. And a bond, and some of the elements of a bond is it pays interest. It has a maturity date, and sometimes it is callable. Okay, they are callable. So that's some of the features of a bond, which is nothing more than an IOU. And we said interest is what? It is the cost of money, right? Money is not free, it's the cost of money, the cost of borrowing money. And we have simple interest and we have compound interest. That's why when you go home this weekend, I want you to read this handout that I gave you on interest. you know, and it tells you on the front page, but interest, of course, money is not free to borrow. It costs. As I mentioned, the little $300 I put on one of my credit cards, they told, you know, according to the information on it, it will take me, if I sent only the minimum payment of $30, it would take me 2 years to pay that off, and then I would pay back instead of $300, it'd be $144 more, you see, than what I even borrowed. So you can multiply that when you have thousands of dollars see, on your credit card. So
I got two.
oh, okay, all right. So you want to, you know, read this so you can have a good idea as what interest is. And then we talked about the rule of 72. And the rule of 72 is what?
How long it will take for your loan, for your deposit to double?
Absolutely right. That's how long it would take your money to double. And the lower the interest rate, the longer it will take the money to double. Okay? So interest has a direct impact on, you know, on the payout, you see. So be sure and read this handout so you can get even a better understanding of what interest is all about. As a matter of fact, you see, there was this lady in Mexico. She deposited $24,000 in her bank account. And you know, in Mexico, you know, they have very high inflation. And she left it there for 10 years, and interest rates went up to 49.3%. So her $24,000 has escalated over the years through their, you know, horrendous inflation to over $46 billion. And she wanted to be paid. She says, I want my money. I said, I put this $24,000 in your bank, and now I want to be paid. And so the bank said, well, the most that we're going to pay you is $150,000. So she got herself a lawyer. And she says, no, I want my $46 billion. You know, where that 24,000 had grown to that much because of the very high interest rate. And basically, because of the very inflationary interest that they had there, you know, that money had grown to that. And of course, she had 15 children. And so what she wanted to do was, they wanted her to put that money into some sort of trust. And of course, the bank says, no, we're not going to pay that, because the bank couldn't pay, because the bank didn't have the money to pay her $46 billion, you see. So they had an accountant calculate, you know, what her interest rate would be. And it says here, the accountant accepted the argument that the 149% interest rate prevailed during the time that her deposit was there, and it had amounted to 440,000 pesos, which is 46 billion US dollars. So this is a very interesting article that I'm going to give to you also, that you can read regarding, you know, the inflationary impact, you see, of money. And her rate started at 49.35% and went up to 149% over a period of 10 years. So that $24,000 grew to $46 billion. So I'm going to give you that article also to read. And also, I want you to work on your own little personal expense budget. You're going to start out with your income, you know, so you're all working now, you know, and you all have jobs. So you're earning now for the first year, you're earning $75,000, your first job, you know, you all had good majors and you did well in school. And, but, you know, there was an economic decline, so things didn't work out the second year, and your salary dropped down to $50,000, but your expenses remained pretty much the same. So I want you to work on that and bring that back next week to see what you came up with regard to your personal budget expense. Just pass those down. Again, you're starting out with $75,000, very similar to the example that we already worked here in class. And you'll see whether or not you come up with a surplus or you come up with a deficit. Your first year, the $75,000 and your $50,000. Now be sure to bring the workbook back again, as I mentioned, because when they printed this, they made some errors in it, so I need to have it redone again. So bring the workbook back so I can, supplement it with the other section that should be there. Okay, and here is the article on the lady with all of the $46 billion. This was in 1988. None of you were even went here. Okay. All right. So we're going to meet back here again, on the next week at 3:30. If you get here a little early, it'll work out better. That way we can start our lunch a little bit early. But meet back here again on the 9th floor instead of my office, because all of our sessions will be here on this floor. It has a really nice view, right? You can see all the airplanes that are going into the airport and that sort of thing. So I will see you next week. Be safe and enjoy your weekend. All right.